Hey dude, do you want some shepherd's pie? Shepherd's pie, you say? Well, you could take half the length of the sheep, but that ends up with a lot of wasted space. And of course, getting a pure outline is simply not going to happen from a nice, simple formula. But I think you can compromise if you're willing to allow some wasted space by using essentially a rectangle in the middle and two half circles on the end. No, like the food. Oh. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Marie Callender's shepherd's pie. 19 grams of protein on the front. It's kind of small in this box here. Looks okay, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about shepherd's pie. Anyway, let's take a look at the nutrition here. It is 300 calories, 17 for total fat, 30 for saturated fat. Really high on the saturated fat for 300 calories, 20% for cholesterol, and of course, it is extremely salty as they all are with 48%, which is impressive considering it's only 300 calories. 9% for carbohydrate, 11% for fiber, 0% for added sugar though. 19 grams of protein, which is pretty good. So, not great really across the board here, aside from no sugar, and high protein. Because I think actually, is there any negative to going above the allocated amount of protein? I think you actually want to hit that value or more. So, probably not very healthy. But hey, whatever. The instructions are on the top here. It is remove from carton and peel back corner of film to vent. Cook on high, 8 to 9 minutes. Check the food is thoroughly cooked. It looks like I could potentially. Oh, it says do not prepare in toaster oven here on the oven one, so I guess I can't try out my toaster oven on this one. Rip to that idea. So I notice it says 8 to 9 minutes, which is actually quite a while for this. And I think all of them say this because I think this is FDA regulation where so you're supposed to check if it's 165 degrees Fahrenheit. But that sounds like too much effort. And who does that for microwave meals? Who actually goes and takes a thermometer in their microwave meal and then checks to see that it was cooked thoroughly? If everyone's been doing that, then maybe that's part of the reason why I had to have my entire large intestine removed. Oh well, let's cook this up. I'll be back in like 10 minutes, I guess. I'm dumb and I forgot to show you guys what it looks like out of the box. Unboxing ruined. Anyway, it is like potatoes and then a little bit of meat up on the top there. Anyway, 10 minutes. Okay, so this is the finished result here. You can see potatoes are a little burnt around the edges here. There's this gravy stuff everywhere, and you got the meat here. Now, if we compare it to the box here, box looks a little bit better. There's also the corn and carrots that aren't anywhere to be seen on the in the meat, but maybe they're underneath the potatoes or something. I don't think it says anything about stirring, so I'm gonna just take a bite. Let's just grab some of the meat here first and see. So I think inside you can sort of maybe see the orange of a carrot and the yellow, or no, yeah, the orange of the carrot and the yellow of the corn. Oh, oh, the plate's also super hot. I cooked it on the plate. I maybe shouldn't have done that. Should have just cooked it in this container and then put that on the plate. Anyway, this is what it actually looks like. Okay, I guess. Stay on. I'm a little scared to take a bite because it is piping hot. Okay, so first off, instructions say let stand 1 minute. I probably let it stand like 6 or 7 minutes. I probably should have let it stand more. It is very hot, especially all the liquid parts. Very, very hot. The meat is kind of interesting. It's kind of it's like ground beef, but it's almost like it's sort of very small grains almost stuck together in a weird mush. I don't know. I'm gonna take another bite and see if I can better describe it. Hot! Oh, it's so hot. Okay, let's take a closer look here. That last bite was too hot to tell anything. It does look kind of like a continuous, well, blob there. I think maybe it's sort of like a combination of sort of like meat crumbly stuff and roast beef. Is it roast beef? I think it's roast beef. The bready one. Yeah, it's kind of a mix of that. There's no like clear defined chunks of meat. It's all very sort of finely mixed into like a single clump that's not naturally connected. It is super hot though. Well, the meat isn't that too hot. It's everything else that's too hot. Maybe it's the spoon that's really getting my tongue. Overall, I'd say it's okay. It's sort of like a, I want to say earthy. It's got kind of a beef brothy sort of flavor. I want to describe it as sort of deep. It's got the gravy sort of mixed into stuff here too. It has the carrots and corn, but I honestly really uh they're not really like big additions, I feel. Yeah, you can tell they're there and they add some variety. They both seem fine, but they are sort of drowned out by everything else. And by everything else, I mean the potato and the meat. The mashed potato's fine. I want to say it's probably not just plain sort of potato, probably mixed with milk or some other stuff too. Let's see if I can tell here. Okay, maybe not milk, but it's got butter in it and cream, and it's rehydrated potato flakes. So it's basically if you've ever made microwave mashed potatoes before from the like powdery stuff, it is now that I'm recalling it, quite similar to that. The meat as well. Sometimes the meat will have like little spots of it that are tough. Most of it's not because it's kind of just like very oh, what's the word? It's like very grinded up meat. But sometimes I assume it's like little fat pieces or something are kind of tough. The carrots and other stuff as well. Like most of them are pretty soft and tender, and you can easily go through them. Some of them though have a little bit of crunch to them. It's not consistent. Something else is that most of the meat, if I don't know if you remember, it was over here. It looks like most of the veggies are over in this corner. So I don't know if I was supposed to mix it, but too late now. Yeah, there's like no meat at all in this corner. There's also this like super hard part where the potato has burnt and melded itself to the container. I will not be trying that. Yeah, I think I've had enough to give it a rating. Overall, I say Marie Callender's beef shepherd's pie. I'm gonna give it a 5.5. It's passable, but it's not great. The beef is fine. It tastes like beef. It's sort of it and the gravy, and I guess a little bit of the potatoes sort of carry the overall flavor. But super ground up, melded together mush of meat. I want to say it's not roast beef. What is it? Meatloaf. Meatloaf. That's what I was thinking of earlier. It's kind of like a mix of meat crumbles and meatloaf. If you were to meet halfway in the center, that's sort of what I imagine the meat here is like. Or that's, I don't know. Yeah, that's basically, I think, the best way to describe it. It's okay. It does have those little things that I don't enjoy where it's suddenly sort of tough in spots. The corn and the carrots are fine, but they're really not. They're just sort of like a little bit of added. I want to say spice, but since this is food, that doesn't work. They're corn and carrots are sort of a little bit of added fluff to the thing, and I think it's better for having them, but really not that much to mention on their own. Potatoes are fine. It's definitely like the microwave potatoes where they were flakes and then you add water and whatnot. It tastes okay, maybe a little buttery. Of course, it also burnt all around the edge here. Oh, it was not like mixed very well. The meat was like all over here, while the veggies and potatoes were more over here. We also had most of the gravy, which was just like, I don't know, standard gravy. It tasted like the same gravy that all the other things like this have if they've got gravy. Maybe I was supposed to mix it. I think it might have been a little bit better. It's also super hot, which is not great, but it's passable for a meal. Could be a lot worse. Could be better though too. I wouldn't mind eating this again, but I don't think I would go out looking to eat this. 5.5. It's acceptable. Thank you for watching. See ya. Welcome to the outro, my dudes. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This outro, I want to go on a nostalgia trip. Really more of a nostalgia waiting room because we got the patcher, but LEGO Universe private servers are finally here. Now, for reference, LEGO Universe is an MMORPG that released, stayed up for like 1 year, and then was shut down like 10 years ago. It was not very good, but it was a core part of my my life for a little bit there. And actually, I'm still very good friends with a lot of people that I met there. There's like one of them that I even still talk to basically on a daily basis. Well, this is great. Hopefully that's not an issue. Anyway, it's also one of the only times where I felt like a top 1%, but really that's just, like a teenager. Well, I would be probably, I don't know how old I was, probably like 13, 14. Uh, just dunking on little kids, like toddlers and whatnot. The actual gameplay was not really great. Like for a Lego game, you would expect there to be a lot of building and creativity, but I think they were so scared of exposing toddlers and children and whatnot to adult imagery that they locked everything down, so everything had to be manually approved and whatnot, and it was a mess. The whole building system they had too was extremely buggy, where if you had something get sufficient, like even moderately large, it would randomly phase in and out of existence. It was not good. The end game as well was basically just sitting in front of a boss with 20 other people competing for the last hit, so you had a chance to get a rare item which you could trade, because trading and collecting everything was the end game. Anyway, it's still just a blast from the past. I'm excited to finally try it again, maybe. Anyway, that's it for this outro. Thank you for watching. See ya.